Nation Radio. Monday night love session. Check us out. Generation. Slow jams. Conversation. Late night stimulation. Call in. Love session. Love session. Monday night.
Get your life together, okay? Good evening, good evening, good evening, You Nation Radio family. MorrisMediaLive.com. It's your girl, Akilah Trinay, and you are tuned in to another episode of Love Sessions. We are here tonight. We are talking about baggage. Over the weekend on Friday night, we went to see the one-woman show starring Tammy Mack, written by Tammy Mack, produced by Tammy Mack, Bag Lady. So we're going to talk a little bit about it. Of course, we're not going to give everything away, but the goal is for you to check it out if you can. And if you can't, that at least we have a good conversation about the topic of baggage. So Monday Night Love Sessions is intellectual stimulation from 10 p.m. to 12 midnight. We talk about relationships. We talk about things that are real. We talk about things that are relevant. And we talk about things that are refreshing. Everyone should walk away from an episode having learned something and hopefully looking into themselves, the things that maybe you can change, maybe you can do better, or maybe that you can help somebody else through your story and your experience and your situation. So, class is now in session. I'm going to kick it to the right to Miss Sugarfoot, who is going to give us some information about our sponsors because we do have to pay bills.
Well, hi, first of all. So, do want to thank our sponsors, starting with this ma'am right here, Beyond the Hurt by Miss Akilah Trinay, that you guys can find on Amazon.com and Kaza Here. Did I say that correctly?
Here.
Kuza
so
Here.
The really cool thing, back to me. The really cool thing about Kuza Here, it is an African base marketplace, which is online, and so they actually sell several different things. They sell clothing, they sell books, they sell all sorts of things. So the I guess sellers, right, have their product online, and then you can go online and you purchase it. So this is just another way to be able to purchase the book, but really it's just another way to promote another Black business, basically, that's supporting people who have things going on in the community. So if you have a product that you would like to get out there and you want to get online, hey, give me a line, drop me a line. I can connect you with the creators of the site, but it's Kuza Here. It's KUZAA. I believe. I hope
yes,
I'm giving
you did spell that correctly.
Here is just here .com, and so Amazon.com, and you can also go to my website revisionpub.com in order to purchase the book. It's only $15. It's not gonna hurt you or break your bank.
So support the Black business, supporting the Black business.
Exactly.
Got it. All right. And then our other sponsor that we would like to thank is Dear Azuri. Azuri stands for beauty in Swahili language, which is a movement to encourage women to properly heal from internalized pain and practice healthy communication. The Instagram is also Dear Azuri. Azuri is spelled Uzuri. The Facebook or personal page, Dear Azuri, or her personal page, Tangi Love Yourself Terry. Okay? Do we got that? So now I'm going to kick it to is that technically my right? To Detroit.
You're way right. Anywho.
Or other left.
Wait. I'm Doncho Detroit. Glad to be back in the building. It's been another grateful and beautiful weekend for me to be a part of this glorious journey I call life and love sessions. But anyway, as my co-host to my right spoke of eloquently, we did go see Tammy Mack, and it was amazing, which prompted us to talk about baggage. So if you got some baggage that you want to talk about, you want to be educated on, or drop some knowledge on us about, you can call in at 323-293-3375. Again, that is 323-293-3375, and we will get right to it, and you can do what it is that you need to do. How was everybody's weekend?
Starting with you, Miss Sugarfoot.
Sir Limp-A-Lot.
Look, first of all, that's really painful. My knee really hurts. Okay?
I saw you fall, by the way. But okay.
And it hurt.
So what time out? Do we know this? We call her Sugarfoot, and she's the nicest, and she's the most sweetest.
Yeah, y'all can find me on Instagram there too.
Woman that you'll ever meet inside of the radio station. But on the basketball court, she's a menace. She's so mean. Somebody was like, somebody standing right next to me was like, oh, she mad. She was cussing people out, pointing fingers. Don't let her rush you. Slow down. Just chill out. You know, on the ground, wrestling for balls, diving for loose balls. You know, I think she did give me my 8 and 8. And look, y'all didn't advance, but it definitely wasn't because of you. So
Bro.
I was proud.
Thank you for coming. It was honestly, I still definitely enjoyed the game because that was the most competitive game I've had in a long time.
Oh, man.
And, man, I feel like both teams left it out on the court. So, shout out to Basketball Beauties League for that and Jude for his league. But that was a dope game, dope league. Championships in 2 weeks. Not this weekend, but next Sunday, if you guys want to go check that out.
But you're not playing.
I'm not playing. But
I'll be there, though.
They got everything of me on that court on Sunday, okay? Like,
that they did.
I needed
proud
a
of that.
reminder, you know?
It's over now.
Now, I will
Well,
say
I
this.
know.
though.
I'm saying
Next
I
time.
needed a reminder. Because
I got you.
Now, is it usually a fashion show like that? Because it seemed like I was like literally like however you see women, however they look on Instagram or Facebook, whatever it is with filters, that's what they look like live and in person. Like literally, this girl walked by me and I was like, she looks realistically fake. I'm
so crying.
You know, and so Tanika's with me, right? And so she's sitting there like,
And who's Tanika?
my girlfriend. So
Don't shout her out like that.
So she's with me, and I don't know why I thought that they knew each other. So,
No.
You never met her?
No. And then I'm
Wouldn't
walking
you have
by
thought-
like, when is
wouldn't
he
you
going to
have thought that
introduce
too?
me? When is he going to introduce me? Then finally I'm like, you know what? Excuse me, Detroit.
Because she only came like once before when we were at the other studio.
Right, and I don't know why I just thought that she had been there the entire time. You know what I'm saying? Because she was at the other studio with us before we segue here, and so
You were.
so she was so she's looking. She's like, do they always dress like this? And I was like, I don't know. I'm like, I couldn't tell you. I was like, I just know I'm enjoying it. And it was hard to talk to her because every time I would get into a conversation, it'd be some scattered ass walking.
You had wandering eyes.
So what? Get your life.
I mean, no, she knows. I'm honest with her. She knows how to
What
do.
is it that she knows?
She knows I'm a look.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I made it important. I finished my conversation. You know what I'm saying? I told her, because at the end of the day, especially when it comes to ass, she got more than that. So that don't threaten her. You know what I'm saying? So, but it was crazy. But she was sitting there watching the league, and she was like, I don't like the WNBA, but I like this.
Yeah, it was lit.
You know,
and
so
there was nowhere to sit in the gym.
Nowhere. She's like, for her, if there were men, she was like, well, there's tons of men here, you know? And she was like, and everybody's so pretty here. She's like, and these girls, they're so physical. You know what I'm saying? And she's tripping off. I forget, baby girl, what's the referee name? Light skin, tall one.
I forget. I don't know
can't
her
think her
name.
name. Z.
So
I think
do
they call
people
her
come
Z.
to these games to catch? Is that what it is?
That's what I would have
It's
thought.
just, I mean, basketball beauties. And
like-
all the women are in the league are all entrepreneurs or models or actresses. So
You know what?
that's just
The
naturally
homie-
how they carry themselves.
The homie Monty put
They're
me up on
beautiful
game on the
girls
site.
who
I'm gonna
can
let you
hoop.
see him.
That's the whole,
Got it.
that's the whole motive. I don't know if the guys are coming there to choose up. I don't know.
Right.
I can't. But I mean, we're there to hoop. But
Well, that's crazy. How come I'm not in this league?
get them, girl. Come on.
You deserve
you
to be in
can't
the league.
hoop.
You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to play basketball. But if you just scroll through the pictures, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, wait, but what do I have to do? I have to click on...
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I don't know
Right.
how to take you out of that.
Don't show me your DMs, because
Ain't nothing going on in my DM.
I
you know
will
what I'm
put your DMs on blast.
saying? Whatever, Jody.
Don't play with me.
But anyway, go
Okay.
ahead.
It
Go
was
ahead.
it was a dope game, and I enjoyed it. And good luck to both teams. I hope it's I'm still salty, okay? But good luck, okay? And that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it at that. Whatever.
Well, at least you're a trooper about it, because I definitely would have been bitter. But whoever baby girl was with the long dreads.
So what
light skin,
happens if somebody is not really beautiful and they want to play?
Well, you better be able to hoop.
You better be.
But
good.
I mean, is there somebody who's like?
Oh no, there were a couple in there that I'm like, oh, she looked like me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But she could hoop though. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But she could hoop though. She was nice with it. You know
it's either you hoop,
hey,
or you beautiful.
So you can be beautiful and
Or
not
you-
hoop.
you ain't gonna sit. You ain't gonna be. You'll be sitting on the bench somewhere. No, look.
I mean, but you'll look pretty sitting there.
Yeah, look, there are legitimately some women out there I would not step foot out there to try and guard. I'm good. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? And they look so pretty and then they hit you with the you like, you know what?
You got it.
Had that.
So shout out to the beautiful ballers. There you go.
How was your weekend?
Since
you didn't come support the homie. How was your weekend?
Didn't come.
Well, I
Even though
didn't
she
get
promised.
a reminder, but I actually was planned to go to Comfort LA's event, and then it started raining.
Hailing. Snowing.
Out of nowhere.
Cold as
and
hell.
and then the thunder started rolling and we were like, yeah, change of plans. We're just gonna Netflix and chill. And that's what it was because back to me. Oh, I forgot to click off of it. But so we just decided to do that, and then that was it. So, but had you reminded me, because that wasn't even on my mind as, that's an option of something to do. I need reminders. I forget.
She should have known too, because she was arguing with me for about 5 minutes. Church is on Sunday. That's the Lord.
Right.
Thing. You're not supposed to.
Because you said 3:30, right?
It was at
It
1
was at 1
o'clock.
o'clock.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't have been able to make that anyway. So
Next.
Get your life. Get your life. Anyway, we're talking about baggage, people. That's what we are talking about, baggage. So
this mic almost choked me out. Did y'all see that?
So we got the idea or the premise from Tammy Mac Show's Bag Lady. And we got to talking and thinking, post a show just about how many people in life come into relationships with baggage.
Men and women.
Men and women. And so one of the questions that I asked post, because they had a Tammy Talks session afterwards where you got a chance to ask questions, which was a powerful situation in and of itself, was how does one know when they're actually just making wrong decisions about certain things, or they're making these wrong decisions essentially based off of baggage that they are carrying in. So sometimes especially for a lot of us in particular, make bad choices when it comes to mates. But I know more times than not, women blame themselves more so for the bad choices that they do. Like, niggas, there's not many bad choices that we make. Most of us would have been like, outside of it, I'm saying this is not what we think to ourselves. Outside of it being like us choosing maybe like a girl that's quote unquote labeled a hoe, and we may have tried to make her into a housewife and that go wrong. Outside of that, we could find much cause to date anybody and be cool with it. But I know a lot of times women feel like the wool was pulled over their eyes. And so when I'm sitting and listening to the situation, I'm like, how many times are these decisions made of us as people because we entered into a relationship because we were damaged and this is what we know to choose, like a woman who continuously choosing an abuser. Chooses an abuser. She's choosing an abuser because she just made bad choices or because she saw her dad beat her mom. You know what I'm saying? Like how is one to tell the difference? You know what I'm saying? Because I know for me personally, it took me a while to know that as much as I think, I'm not the greatest critical thinker. Like if I have time to exactly if I have too much time to think about a choice, I'm more times than not going to make the wrong decision. If I have to do it on impulse, I'll make the right decision. So now I choose against whatever it is I really want to do that I think that's it. I boil it down to it. Okay, I'm gonna go the other way. You know what I'm saying? That's how I choose decisions now. But before it was like, oh, okay, I'm thinking that these are the decisions that was good. So I'm like, do I make these bad decisions because I'm become a bad critical thinker, or because there's some damage somewhere in my life that I never got over? You know what I'm saying? So Yeah.
Well, ask the question again in an easier way for our audience, and then
let 'em
when we
sit on it.
let them sit on it. Yeah, we're gonna go to
Marinate.
break, and then we come back, and then we'll.
So
see
okay.
if
So
anybody
again,
can address it.
for y'all for food for thought when we come back from this break, we're talking about baggage, and we want to know how many people think that they're making decisions based off of baggage that they're carrying from their past, or are these just bad decisions that are ironic, coincidental, and happenstance? You know, so you let me know if what you're going through is from baggage or you good. But you know what? I'm dealing with these cats. We about to listen to previous cats from Music Soul Child. Poetess, cue us up. Yay!
Back. I'm trying to find my first little
Piece of
thing.
baggage.
Right, my first little
I'm discombobulated.
piece of information.
Right.
But anyway, again, we're talking. Okay, so let me bring y'all back. You are tuned in to U Nation Radio Love Sessions. It's your girl, Akilah Trinay, and we are talking about baggage. I wanted for us to kind of review the one woman show, because what's most important is for everybody to go out and check out the show. I don't know if she has any more LA dates right now. All I can say is that if people demand it, then they would have no other reason than to, bring it right back
To not
to
come
LA and present more shows. The same with the Bay Area. I know that she had some shows in some other cities and they were pulled. So as long as more people are going and more people are talking about it and posting about it, then that will allow for her to be able to come back or come to your city so that the show can be presented. The show was really great. The concept was basically Tammy Mack sharing her own personal stories and or stories of friends that were kind of infused together to talk about the baggage that she had in current relationship. It wasn't about dissing men or talking about men or anything of that nature. It was basically just about for men and women alike to realize and understand that you may be carrying baggage into the relationship that can have a negative effect on the men and or women that you choose to date and or the decisions that you make within the relationship and how you respond to certain actions and situations. So she started off the show pretty much going all the way in. She talked about abuse, basically sexual abuse, being molested at a very young age, and that pretty much kicking off and or triggering the next line of events and relationships and situations that she went into. The thing that I think that I took from it was that you don't even necessarily have to have one super traumatic situation.
Right.
Or it doesn't have to be as devastating or as deep. Because, sometimes, you can hear somebody else's story and you're like, man, okay, well, I didn't really go through that. Well, what's wrong with me? But I feel like when it comes to our mental health, as I always say, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. When it comes to our mental health, thank you. If we don't have it together, if we don't have it in order, the smallest things can have an effect on us and fester and then become a bigger situation. And everybody handles everything different. I was having a conversation with my husband, and we were talking about how some people can go through something extremely traumatic, and let's say Sugarfoot, you go through the same situation, and for you might not be fazed by it. Even though for this person is extremely bad. And then you can go through something that this person went through that they're like, well, that's nothing.
Right.
But it tears your world apart. And so I believe it's the same thing with relationships and how we interact with these different people, because some people can get cheated on and they're heartbroken and all that multiple times. And they're just like, man, because they're, what do they call that? They're...
I'm usually good at this, but
hopeless romantic.
Gotcha. Bingo.
They're hopeless romantic. So they're always about finding that true love, and I'm not going to stop until I find it. And then you have the person who got their heart broken one time, and then that's it. They're done. You know, they're cold. They turn cold.
You know what we call those? Men.
Detroit.
We call those men.
Men, and I didn't want to put it on men like that. However, it happens.
Right.
And the main thing that I believe Bag Lady was stemming to is, and she said it, Tammy Mack said it when she was here, that it's important to figure out where you earned or picked up the first bag. And so for her, that first bag was when she was 8 years old. However, for some of us, you know, you have to find exactly where you picked up that first bag, because it might have been when you were,
I was 5.
17 or, 25 or
5.
You were 5, right? So we're gonna come back to 5 in just a second. But I think that I'm still trying to figure out, exactly where.
Me too.
Where the first bag was picked up. I think I can probably have an idea, and it was probably in high school, to be honest. But I can't like say, oh, it was when I was 14 and a half and it was, February and it was raining outside and I remember the day. But I think the place in the area was high school for sure. And to go along with that, she also mentioned about your relationship with family, and in one of or two of the articles it talked about, which I will share, that somebody's family and where they come from and all of that plays a big role in baggage as well, because those first relationships that we learn how to interact with are the ones with our parents and our siblings, if we have them, and those relationships then shape how we relate
in our
to
relationships.
others.
That is true. So for me, I know, like my grandma, she would always tell me, like, there's a certain way that you do things. She was big on karma. So, like, if you just do things the right way, there's a right way to do everything, and you should be good. So when I was about 5 and I was in preschool, whatever grade it was in the treating amount of time, I think it's preschool, whatever, I had met this little girl that I like really, really liked or whatever. And my granny, she was like, she would always put things in terms of church, and she would always be like, that should be your little first lady, whatever, because she was whatever. So I was like, yeah. So I used to always ask her, like, how do I get the first lady? Like, how do I get to be the pastor so I can have a first lady or whatever? So she was like, you got to dress really nice, you know what I'm saying? And then she was like, you got to do some really nice things. So like, I bought this peppermint, this candy cane. It was like a chocolate with this. It was a peppermint cane, but it was the flavored kind. It wasn't the regular kind, it was the flavored kind. And then I knew she really liked pickles, because every day she would have a pickle.
So wait, time out. You're 5?
I'm 5.
Wow.
And
You got chocolate candy canes, not the regular kind, but the flavored kind, so you spend money.
These are the things, though, that are direct correlation and reflection of who you are now. Like, you're like, you had to really been, observing this girl to know, like, all of these intricate details.
Well, I mean, we was in preschool together. Like, I was.
I don't even remember preschool.
Right.
And
you talking about the girl that
there.
you like pickles and peppermint candy cane. Like,
and
what?
not the peppermint kind, the flavored kind.
You spent money.
Well, I went to this preparatory school, you know what I'm saying? And she was in the class. We had a spelling contest, and she was the only person that could.
And what word did you spell?
I don't remember.
Just trying to see how vivid your memory is.
I don't remember.
At 5, that's pretty amazing.
We were in a spelling contest, and my grandma had me in this handwriting thing, and she was in both classes. So when we went to the little preschool thing that we had afterwards, she was in that too. So it was like I was well acquainted with her, and then plus her name was Michelle. So like that, if anybody knows me, they know how I feel about the name Michelle. So
wow.
So anyway, so I do all this stuff, right?
Deep.
I do all this stuff, and there was a chocolate chip cookie involved in this too. You know what I'm saying? So I do all
Cookies,
this.
candles,
Right.
candles, cookies, candy, and pickles.
And so it's Valentine's Day, right? So I asked my granny, like, is this enough? Like, is this gonna work or whatever? And then so I figure in our handwriting
I think
class,
that would suffice.
yeah, I'm like, in our handwriting class, I would write her a little note or whatever, asking her the question. I got some stuff for you, would you go
And
with
he
me?
5 writing notes.
Right.
You was on.
So all this happens, and she was like, my granny, last thing she was like, she's gonna love you, baby, whatever. So cool, whatever. So I do all of this, right, and then she was
Granny
like, no.
said she was.
Yeah, she was like, no, you know what I'm saying?
First
Like,
bag.
she was like, I don't, no, like just, I mean, clear cut, dry, like, no, walked away.
Because that was too much. 5?
She took everything I gave her and walked away. Like,
Wait, but what did you say?
huh?
What did you say?
I gave her the note. I said, I have a note for you, and then she was like, oh, thank
Did
you.
you
And
say,
she
will you be my first lady?
No, I didn't use it.
You just gave her the note. You said,
Yeah.
I'm going to let the note
I don't
speak
even
for
remember
me.
what it said.
But
Yeah.
could she read? Could you read?
I could read.
Right. So
You know what I'm saying? I could read what I wrote. You know what I'm saying? It couldn't
He
be
said
too
he was
intricate.
writing. It didn't have to be real words or anything. It
You're
could have
right.
just been,
she probably had no idea what it said.
Right. So there's a combination that happens with this. So now, like, that happens, right? So, like, I'm heartbroken, right? So I'm like, I'm mad. So then that next day, my mom was supposed to come get me. She never came and got me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there by the door for the longest, waiting on my mom to come get me. You know what I'm saying? And after that, I was like, I despise women. Like, I just, like, I couldn't stand it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was upset. And because my mom lied to me. So then I also took that as what my grandma said as a lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, my granny said I'll do this or whatever. So now I'm just like, women lie. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Wow.
and I've just always been that way toward women.
So you
Since
still
5.
feel that way?
Oh, now I know women lie.
Wow.
It's not even if, fifth, or wish. Like, it's just, now it's not all malicious. Women, it's not all malicious about women lying, but they do. Yeah, they go through what.
Oh, you had something to say, Monty Images? Okay.
It's just the unnecessary that folks come through. So that was one of my bags. Sugar.
I don't even know if I know exactly when I picked up my first bag.
When somebody pissed me off for the first
Look,
time.
that's probably what happened. I would probably have to say mine probably would have been in high school too. I don't know which one of those bags came first, which one hurt me the most, but I would definitely just probably say high school. High school was a mess. It was a lot. It was a lot going on. But when I think of that first initial bag, I'll let you guys know.
When you find the bag.
When I find the bag, I'm going to let you guys know.
You'll let us know. So there are 6 types of baggage that ruin relationships. This is according to Lisa Duffy. This is from www.patheos.com. And it says most people want to be involved in a healthy, happy love relationship that will last, but many times they do not recognize or worse, ignore this pervasive silent danger that can prevent them from having a successful long-term relationship.
Do
You
you?
whispering over the mic because I can hear you. I can hear you right in my ears here. One of the things that Tammy Mack also mentioned was this idea of damaged goods, and the Lisa Duffy. It's a blog basically. So she wrote this post having been divorced, and she had the idea in her head that she was damaged goods. Basically, that if she were to find, excuse me, goodness, or get in a relationship with another man, that he would eventually lose interest and not really want to be with her. So it's that idea of never feeling that you're adequate enough for the next person, the current person, or the past person, and bringing those thoughts and those feelings with you, carrying them along. And when I read that, I know that I've had conversations with other women and even personally felt that way of feeling in that feeling of inadequacy. And anytime you feel inadequate, of course, you're not going to put forth the same effort that you would if you were, kind of confident, feeling yourself like, I got this. And the crazy thing about it is, because it's that what she said is the silent danger, is because you don't realize that it happens when it's happening until you get to the point where it's this big explosion situation, and now you're like, oh wait, how did I get here? How did I allow all of these situations to have an effect on me, to now I'm at this point and I don't even know how I got here? And it just reminds me of, again, in the play, how it wasn't until, she had gone through so many relationships that I was like, wait a minute, I carried this bag to this place, and then I carried this bag to this place, and at the very end, when she put all the bags in the middle of the stage, that's when it dawned on me and hit me like, wow, like you really do. Out of sight, out of mind is for me, until you really have to face that situation again. So oftentimes we can say, oh, I'm over this person, or I'm past that situation, or I forgave this person. But one of the things the expert said at the end is, if you still have that same emotional tie to that person or that situation, then you're not over it.
Right. So she said, if you just can't allow it to be a fact, or if you just can't allow what you went through to be a fact and or a stat, then you're not over it. So you should be able to talk about a painful or traumatic situation, and it should just be fact, because it's something that you really did go through. Right. So it's like, oh dang, like he did cheat on me with X, Y, Z, whatever. But now, here I am.
You're emotionally disconnected from it, where it's not affecting you. Like, you still have ill feelings towards that person. You don't want to see them happy. You don't want to see them do good because of what they maybe did. Then you're not past.
Right. Now, Trip to us, remember eons of shows ago, we were talking about, was it okay for your best friend or a friend to date one of your exes if you were married? And I couldn't get over. I'm like, why not? Like, if I'm married and a homie want to date one of my exes, like, I don't have no issues with that because I'm married. Like,
well, I've even said, I don't know if it was on the show or not, just in conversation, because I feel like we've talked about this before, just in conversation, that if somebody that I dated wanted to talk to, and or somebody that I talked to, because like how we talked about before, everybody doesn't date officially, but people talk together, right? You go out, you talk on the phone, whether you've been intimate, whatever. If somebody that I talked to wanted to talk to somebody else and I'm over that relationship, I have no problem with it. It's happened. I've had friends that talk to other friends, and it was what it was, because that's not me anymore.
Right. But it was a big uproar on the show that day, like, nah, that's not cool. Like,
but as you would say, trip this.
Wow.
Men would do that regardless, whether they got the green light or not. You get what I'm saying? Because
wait, what do you mean?
Men would talk to their homie's girl regardless, whether they got the green light or not.
And y'all gonna giggle about it later.
No, but that's only if it's nothing.
No.
Let her finish.
No.
Go ahead. I'm gonna see where you're going with this.
My point is that, so in guy code and the girl code. So in girl code, it's like, if your homegirl talk to a dude, you're not gonna go talk to that same dude. It's just that would just be off limits.
Oh, really?
And it's gonna take you a while to possibly work up the courage to ask her, like, girl, are you over? And you're not even gonna tell her at first. You just go, so how are you and such and such? You talk to him, y'all still friends? How you feel about him? That's how that's gonna go. But we got to ask first. And it takes a long time for us to even want to ask, like, is it okay? Can I talk to him?
Especially if you were privy to the things that were going on in the relationship as it was going on. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things that's cold. What I've noticed is guys don't have the code. It ain't no fun and the homies can't have none. Like, I mean... Like,
are we lying? Or
I'm just saying because friends.
I'm gonna get
friends.
I'm gonna get to you in a minute.
Friends.
You see how you try to do me?
Would just go ahead and I'm thinking like, wait a minute, but yo, homie That's your
First of all, she
best
nasty,
friend, homie,
but
whatever.
Well, and I'm glad you said that. Like,
I'll give you that.
I'm glad you said first off
She's
she
something
nasty
for that.
No,
but
so trip this. We first off, men and women operate on a different plane.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
In every aspect
So-
all
of
of them.
everything.
So what means something to y'all means totally nothing to us.
Which is my point. Why it's
so
it's fair game.
So what the premise is not different, but what dictated is different. You know what I'm saying? So if I was overly in love, wanted to wife somebody, that might be something that somebody's apprehensive into going into. But women take a lot of ownership in a lot of shallow things. So let's say you told her you was talking to the homie Monty, right? Mm-hmm. And y'all went out, you and Monty went out to lunch, right? Mm-hmm. Bam. Now you went out, we went on a date. Now she talked to you and she's like, oh, how'd it go? You like, oh, I ain't telling you, whatever. We went out to lunch or whatever. Woo, woo. That was all y'all did was go out to lunch. It's months later. She see Monty, they cool, they hanging out. He taking pictures at the game. Like, oh shit, they exchange, like damn. But she like, oh, snap, Akilah used to talk to him. Now all you did was go out to lunch.
No, that was a lunch.
Yeah, no. But a lot of women take ownership in that, so they'll get mad and be like, I was talking to him. How you going? Whatever. She see you happy or whatever. Now you offer him, and the issue be that you happy with somebody that she missed out on. That's one. Two. Here's the difference between men and women. I'm going to ask Monty straight up, like, oh, is that cool? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to go, yeah, like, I know, like, I want to, she got this, like, I got action. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
It's either yes or no from Monty or
yeah,
whatever.
but you got action. So wait, let's unpack this a little bit because you obviously already started the process when you went and asked because you had to make sure that you had a foot in the door already. Then you go ask for permission.
Not
but
necessarily.
you already
Not necessarily. That could happen multiple ways. It could have happened that way, or I could have seen her out and she gave me the wrong eye or the wrong, and it's like.
But I'm just saying, you took that as like, okay, it's good. So now.
No. No, if it was good, I just would have went ahead and did it. You know what I'm saying? The reason I don't know if it's good or not is when I go to ask. You know what I'm saying? Because I need to know where he stands emotionally with it. You know what I'm saying?
So if he emotionally is not cool with it, but he's married, you're not going to pursue it.
You said if he's emotionally not cool with it, if that was the case, if I went and asked and he told me no, I'm not gonna go ask and then he tell me no and I'm gonna go do it anyway.
Yeah, but he can also tell you no for the sake of not to, as Monty said. Monty name is gonna be thrown around all show. As Monty said, he don't want to own up to the fact that he's been hurt or that he is emotionally tied to this woman because then that would show his weakness. So he's gonna tell you as his boy that he's good and you can go ahead and then he's not even going to tell you, but he's going to feel some type of way about it, but he's not going to tell you because he's going to tell his best friend who's a girl.
Now y'all just made Monty a real big bitch in this situation. You know what I'm saying? Because
she said it.
First off, ain't no dude gonna put himself in that position.
Y'all
more times than not. Because I'm gonna tell you like this: when most men care, they care. So if they care that much, where it's gonna piss them off, nah.
So you're telling us you've never told a dude that you didn't care about a girl that you did, or that you liked a little more than what you said?
That I passed off. I've never passed off a girl.
Well, no, you can't
Monty?
pass her.
I can't pass her.
Huh?
I've never passed. I've never passed off a girl that I cared about that I didn't. You know
Have you
what I'm
ever done that?
I believe so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so okay. Well, 1 in 50%. Out of the two, we got 50%.
With 50-50, so we need somebody else to let us know if they've
and
ever
that's
done
fine.
that.
And I'm saying I've passed off plenty of people, and people have passed off plenty of people to me. But
Okay, now when you say pass off, what do you mean?
Y'all be passing off.
Right, that's
you don't pass.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Look,
now hold on.
I'm gonna tell you. No, I'm sorry. I'm gonna clarify myself. This is what it means. It means, yeah, I'm done with her.
You got her.
I gotta see. Here you go.
No, that's not what it means.
Lob.
That
You do the lob.
That's
now
not,
wait, and now you got to deal with all of her BS.
Nah, that is not what
Part of
that
that
means.
bag,
That
yes.
is not what that means, because that could just be hanging with people tough. You know what I'm saying? Period. You know what I'm saying? If the homie was dealing with somebody physically, but I didn't deal with her physically, but I was into her like that, you know what I'm saying? Or we just vibe like that, it could be the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, he's going to see me with her, because perception can be everything. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm not sleeping with her, but we're close, it matters what somebody else thinks that I know. You know what I'm saying? So they need to know. But that can still be considered. But because if I'm not sleeping with her, right? But I talked to her and he talked to her, and you knew her to talk to him first, but we just kicking it and we cool and we just friends, you gonna think something like, dang, wasn't she just with or whatever? Forget what's not going on. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, in this conversation that you guys want to talk about men and how they go between women, understand this. It's at the basis of the woman. At the end of the day, I feel like I don't know if that was the play we were at, or
It's always our fault.
I don't know where it was, but dang, I can't figure it. But they said every woman wants to feel a little slutty. Was that in the play? Was that in the play?
What?
Was that in the play? I don't know where I was.
say?
I don't know where it was in the play. I don't know where I saw it.
I don't
But
know where
I'm listening to
just made it
something.
up.
I'm listening to something. And it was like every woman wants to be a little bit slutty sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It didn't give a certain parameter or whatever. But so at the end of the day, people provoke different things. You know what I'm saying? Just how she talked about the bad, liking the bad boy or whatever, and the good guy finishing last. A lot of times that happens is one of the friends is a good guy, the other one is not. You know what I'm saying? And depending on how they met, you know what I'm saying? I'll tell you, I've always been the good guy. So I've always had.
What makes you good? We talked about that before on the
Guys
show.
always
Like
think they're
how
good.
everybody. I've never met a guy who said I'm a bad guy.
And then when we tell you
okay,
you're a bad
but-
guy, well, I didn't mean
No,
to
no,
do
no,
it.
no.
That don't mean
Okay.
you didn't do it.
Okay, but when I say I don't think we determine ourselves or describe ourselves as the bad or the good guy.
No, but you do all the time.
Okay,
You
but
say
you just
you're the
said
good
you're
No,
guy.
I'm
always the
saying
good
that's
guy.
based off of what position I've been put in or I've been told about.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, explain.
You know what I'm saying? So, okay. So, like, dang, I remember talking to the homie. I'm like, dang, like, I never get those girls that just want to, fuck me outright, like, on the first day. Like, damn, you know what? I like.
Wait. Somebody else told you this, or this is you
No,
talking?
that's me talking.
Okay.
That's me talking to the homegirl. Because I'm in a group. One day we go to Big Wings out in Hollywood. It's me and the rest of the homies. 4 to 5 homies that day. Okay, 4 to 5 homies that day took girls home. Like, they had just met that day. And I'm sitting there talking to my homegirl like, dang, like, that's just never really happened to me. Like, now, people, they get to know me and be like, you know what? We finna go ham. But off-site, they'd be like, nah. But, she was like, you just a good dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, you real nice. You genuine. You sweet. We want to talk to you. And I'm like, oh, okay. I guess. Whatever. So,
So you feel like more often or not, the baggage is always negative.
What?
You ever got like a girl who you feel like brought like something just
You're
positive
not
from that
showing anything on your
relationship? Like, okay.
Oh,
You just feel like you only know about the bad baggage, basically. All right, never mind.
It's off. I'm sorry.
I'm confused now. Y'all struggling. I don't know. Never mind.
The bad baggage. Come on.
I really.
I was
got
trying to.
my question.
I was trying to figure
really
out.
blanked out for a second,
No.
guys. Like I really.
No, but okay, but to me, all that stuff is not baggage. See, to me, I think women also reach a bottom line too.
Well,
You know
can
what
I
I'm
give some indicators?
Yes.
I
You
did
got
say
un-
6 signs
un-
of, and then we
momento.
can
When we get out of break, we'll come back.
Okay. So number 1, you have unresolved feelings
What are these
of
again?
love.
What are you about to read? Some of these?
This is identifying your baggage. This
Okay.
is 6 types of baggage that can ruin relationships. That can, if you don't handle it in the right way. Number 1, you have unresolved feelings of love for your ex relationship. It could be a spouse or another past love. Unresolved meaning you still have some hurts, some pains, some connection there. Number 2, you have damaged goods syndrome. So that's feeling as if you're not worthy of someone's love. I believe this can happen within a relationship, the duration of a long relationship. For example, you were good at one point, maybe you had children, maybe you had a separation, maybe there was infidelity, maybe whatever it was, and then you get to a point of now feeling like you're no longer, worth it for the other person. Number 3, you have a strong desire to see your ex fail. Number 4, you have an unreasonable distrust for others or of others. 5, you replay arguments, fights, and or breakups in your mind. And number 6, painful memories still ruin your day even years after the situation and or the breakup.
I ain't putting no bags down. But no, I was just playing. But so yeah, we talking about baggage today. In response to seeing Bag Lady Tommy Mac. So this is Erykah Badu, Bag Lady. Poetess Q, what's up? Yeah.
There are some people who have to be in one. So we are back. You are tuned into Love Sessions. Again, this is your girl, Akilah Trinay. And you can follow me on Instagram if you so choose. Yes. Shout out to Beyond the Hurt on
What's your Instagram?
Akilah Trinay, Akilah Trinay, which is actually my name.
Nothing shameless about that plug.
Actually.
Because, sometimes people think like it's nailless, especially if they know you by your first name all the time. And they're like, who is Akilah Trinay? And I'm like, well, it's me. But
when I went to the school the other day, and I was like, I'm looking for. I'm like,
you had to think
I'm
about
like, I'm looking for, and then I got caught between Norris and Washington. I'm like,
Right.
She changed it already? Did she not change it? She like the lady, and I'm sitting there having this conversation with my. She's like, son, who you looking for? And I'm like, oh man, the lady with the dress. She's probably in the back.
Did you really say the lady with the dread?
Yeah.
That's terrible. So, with that said, it's weird, right? Because I am going to go by Washington, but I haven't officially changed, my name. And so some of my coworkers, they call me Mrs. Washington. And that's weird because I've been Miss Norris my whole life, 31 years. So to hear, so I'm not even, used to saying it yet, which will obviously take time.
Kids gonna be like, Mrs. W.
But it's no different from doing the radio show since we've been doing, for those of you who don't know, since 2013. And when we first started, it was weird saying, okay, Akilah Trinay, because I'm used to saying my name is Sharifa. So going by Akilah Trinay was new, but like now it's so much easier. Like and it rolls. Or if somebody's like, Akilah, and I'm like, hey,
Right.
that's me, I'm right here, But now I'm really confusing to people, I'm sure, because it's like, well, what is your name? Well, my name is...
I already know.
Okay, so now I got to tell a story every time. So my name is Sharifa Norris, but I just got married, so now it's going to be Sharifa Washington, and Akilah is my middle name, and Trinay is my middle name, and now I got to put it all together. So my name is Sharifa Akilah Trinay.
So much
Norris,
baggage.
Washington.
So much baggage.
I got baggage in
You
my
can't even keep
name. So, accept your past for what it is. It cannot be changed. So you have to make peace with the fact of whatever it is. You got hurt, make peace with it, move on. It's always easier said than done, for sure. And you are totally rocking that Coca-Cola bottle.
I knew it.
To your listeners.
It's cool.
So I helped y'all out. The second thing to do in order to free yourself of this baggage is to pay attention to the warning signs. If your heart is saying one thing and your head is saying another, don't ignore it. I think that's probably goes along with your critical thinking, bad decision, mind thing. Because there are signs. Here's the thing, and she kind of mentions this in the thing. Everything is not going to be perfect. There's going to be signs. There's going to be red flags. There's going to be, but there's certain things that we will not be able to deal with based on our own past and personal experience. In another article, it talked about at one point in this person's life, they, at the sign of, which I can attest to, any conflict, any situation, it's like, bye. Deuces.
Once.
Peace be at you.
One time, you get one time to mess up with me,
Zero tolerance.
and I'm done. And I'm out because I don't deserve this. I'm not going to deal with this. Homegirl and homeboy, they deal with all that drama, but I'm not going to deal with that stuff. And then she said, as she got older, she realized that pretty much it doesn't matter what comes her way. She's going to navigate her way through it. If you want to be in a relationship with that person, if you want to work it out with that person, that you'll do whatever is necessary to get through it. I believe the problem at the end of the day is really being able to come to terms with the fact that certain things are truth. Certain things are bothering you. Certain things have affected you, and not denying that part. Because I think the more we deny it, the more we keep ourselves from being able to move past it and deal with it. And it's so many intricate things that happen. As simple as you said, your mom told you that she was going to be there to pick you up, and she didn't. Mm-hmm. Subconsciously, you registered that as women will tell you one thing and do another. You know what I mean? And it's dishonest. And or I can do all of these things for a woman, and she's still not going to appreciate it at all. So it can turn you to, I'm not going to do anything for that woman because I've done all of these things for a woman and gotten a certain response. And I've done nothing for a woman and gotten a certain response. And based on whatever those responses or those reactions were, now I'm going to treat everyone else accordingly.
Right. And I think that's the issue with a lot of things. Like there's no right answer. Like love is such a science, such a chemical situation. Everything becomes hard to navigate. So and I'm having this conversation today with my girlfriend, and I'm realizing like certain things are just hard to deal with because we don't know how to acquiesce to them. You know what I'm saying? So you got baggage, you know what I'm saying? And you're trying to, even if you're honest. So like that's just part of the battle. Part of the battle is you being honest about something with yourself, right? Then now you have to deal with me, and I have to be sensitive to it and understand how deep that affects you. So if I don't, so even if you are honest, mm-hmm. and I'm a jackass about it, mm-hmm. or I'm insensitive, or, I don't treat it as sensitive or as severe as it actually is and applies to you, then we're never going to get past it anyway, because even though you sitting there trying to be honest about it, but if I'm not sensitive, now it's just going to piss you off and we're never going to get through it because I don't understand it. It's not me. It's not my baggage. That doesn't stop and or affect me. And I think people that get through it the most with other people get the best of both worlds somehow, in the sense that, well, you know what, whether they understand it or not, they understand bare minimum. That's something that really, really affects you, and we're going to be sensitive to that situation, But I thought the question I had that got to me the most with her was because I understood, because we had the conversation with Tammy about what it really was, And so when it comes to baggage and starting with thyself and getting over and forgiving, it's like, what's the real first step to forgiving yourself? Like, what does that really look like? Like, what does that really feel like? Because I think a lot of us I don't want to say lie, but when I brought up the question, it was more like rationalize with ourselves. And when we rationalize, we lying, or we
tell ourselves what we want to hear, in a sense.
Yeah, we've deduced to such a situation. Yeah. It's like not want to go to work. You should go to work. And then you like...
and you really see you like... in bed for 20 minutes.
I got to be
there. Justify. You find reasons to justify, and or some people call it excuses, as to why you do what you do.
And knowing in the back of your head, that answer, that response. That's why 9 times out of 10 you call your friend like, girl, what should I do? You know what you probably should do, but you're hoping maybe your friend will tell you something different, hoping that that'll justify exactly those actions or what you might be feeling to.
And now that's funny.
What's interesting about what you said, and I just don't want to forget my thought. So hopefully you don't forget yours.
Go.
Because it may not go along with it. But growing up, I remember my dad always being in the house. Always being in the house, just regardless. He was just always there. So, in any relationship where the man leaves, for me, it's something that I'm not used to dealing with. You get what I'm saying? Because, and this was an epiphany I had just a couple of days ago, where I was like, wow, I never thought about it like that. Why it would affect me so much if a man leaves. You know what I mean? Like feeling like, kind of abandoned in a way, because I always have the recollection of my dad being there, whether he was upset, whether he was frustrated, whatever the case may be. Now, I'm not saying he and my mom were like always tied at the hip. I don't know. It seems to me if they were, but if so, it wasn't to my knowledge.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? It wasn't extreme enough where it was like, okay, well, where did daddy go? Because I ain't seen him in a while. You know what I mean? But I just remember him always being present in the house. So I didn't realize how much that alone had an effect on me until a couple of days ago, where I was like, wow, that's why I get stirred up so much if a man leaves. You know what I mean? Or let's say my husband gets upset
for that to
and he leaves, and I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what are you doing? Like, what's happening? And I honestly didn't know that. So when we talk about this idea of baggage, you know what I mean? I think it doesn't always have to be something negative that you're carrying, but even expectation or just experiences that you assume that when you go into the next relationship or the situation that it's going to play out a certain way. And then when it doesn't play out a certain way, again, one of the things that it talks about in one of the articles is how you respond to it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the example they gave is, I have the Coca-Cola bottle and I accidentally spill it on you. Right? And you just flip out. And just going off, you cussing me out and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, my God, it was an accident. I apologize or whatever. So it's no longer about the spilled Coca-Cola on you. It's now everything else that you made it into because of your response to exactly what happened. And so that's sometimes where you'd be like, well, dang, why did you flip out like that? You know what I mean?
What happened to him today?
Right, exactly. Like, you good? You okay? But that response came from somewhere. Mm-hmm. It didn't
It's been festering.
We don't face issues often. We just kind of brush them to the back, and then we're like, oh, I dealt with that, or oh, I'm over that. But we never actually, okay, why did this make me feel this way? And what made me react to that like that? Like, we don't ever actually think about stuff like that.
Which goes to what you're saying is, how do you know? Or how do you really get over it?
Right. And I think the answer was really in what the doctor said at the end of the thing was it was about therapy. Because, black people really don't believe in therapy. But they don't.
I'm about to go to therapy, y'all.
They don't.
They don't.
But the people that I know that have went to therapy, they love it. You know what I'm saying? And I was talking to a friend. I'm like, what is it like? He was like, it's like having the most unbiased friend that no one knows you, that can give you. And here's the funny thing. I think it's so much more important for women. And I'm going to say it. Go ahead.
I want to tell you something real quick. I think it kind of goes along with what you're saying. One of our followers said, King Jaw 5, he said, what ruins relationships is people's egos against each other. Mm-hmm.
Most definitely.
So, does that...
not quite, but no, but it fits in. So what he said was apropos. But it's definitely the case. But if you can get over your baggage, it'll reduce your ego. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, not understanding that you have baggage or that you have an ego or that you trying to put yourself first or whatever, fits in with what he's saying. But when we first started, and we had this conversation in the lobby and we were trying to figure out what we was going to talk about for the show. And I made the mistake and I was like, something with all women. You was like, men too. And I was like, nah, I'm like, that's not really what I was trying to say. But and I'm like, because I know men have baggage too. But what I will say is, in my opinion, men have a lot more of therapeutic situations with their friends. You know what I'm saying? So case in point, if I'm doing something stupid, right? Mm-hmm. The only way a lot of times I'll carry through doing something stupid is if I keep it to myself. But if I talk to a friend or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Like more times than not, most men will tell you like, nah, dog, that's stupid.
Really?
Like,
y'all give each other good advice like that?
Yeah, like that's dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you'll really have to talk him. You really have to talk your boy through it to make him see like either it's not dumb or it is, or it is or it ain't dumb. Women a lot of times, and I saw this I saw this. You hold it. But anyway, so I forgot what TV show I was watching, and she went and got a friend that she knew was gonna go along with the dumb shit she was doing.
We all got one of those,
right? So now she's feeling re-empowered by this stupidity that she got on. So I know for a fact a lot of women cultivate perpetuating baggage because you know what? I don't want to be told the truth. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going to stop me from doing what I'm doing or feeling how I'm feeling. You know what I'm saying? Let me go get the homegirl that's fast and is about that sex life and tell her I want to sleep with this married man because, well, you know, I know she's about that life.
She going to be a hype man.
Right. So she wouldn't go to and tell the other homegirl or whatever because that just ain't the case. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to therapy, I think the first step of getting through things and why it really, really helps women is because a woman can just let go of everything. And I remember talking to that friend, and in the therapy session, I'm like, well, dang, have I ever come up in your therapy session? She was like, yeah. And I'm like, really? Like, I've been the nicest to you. And she was like, yeah, that's the problem. She was like, I couldn't tell you everything that I want to tell you for you to, she's like, because I never wanted you to think anything of me. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. Deep. She was like, but I always called you. She's like, I always do this to make me feel good about myself, but I never told you the truth. She was like, so it didn't matter anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it was just, you know, that was long lines of what I really want to talk. Because when I saw it on TV show, it really pissed me off. I'm like, why would you go to her to say some dumb, like, you know, you bought this. Nah, I'm good. All right. I digress. But, you know what I'm saying? So I know, I know that first step of forgiveness is kind of hard to find. Because you got to go back, and especially with people who are dealing with molestation, it's like you got to go back and deal with that. Like it's a guy that stood up at the end, although he was like real dark.
Wow, his story.
Jesus.
Oh God, what happened?
I personally, I think, to be honest, I was most affected by what he said. Because I can be emotionally connected to like what the women were saying just because, you know, it was like tearing on your heartstrings. Mm-hmm. But the fact that he was so brutally honest about his situation, he said that he had been molested as a child. He said then he was fully raped by men. He was molested by a man. He was fully raped by a man. And he took all of that, and instead of becoming the victim, he said he became a predator. And he said he literally,
beat women.
He beat on women. He
said he knocked
raped
women's
women.
Eye socket out. Like
he took advantage of women. He got into, like, I believe he said, like, the drug game. And he killed some people. He, like, literally went to the dark side, you know, and
on top of being positive.
And he went to jail. He went to prison. He didn't say how or when. So but he said he did not contract HIV from a man. So he did, like, because he was heterosexual. But at the end of the day, I mean, he stood up and said all these things. First of all, to me, that just goes to show his own personal healing. Because again, nobody who's still dealing with that or cares about how people think about him is going to stand up and share that with some strangers.
Nobody in general.
You know what I mean?
Tell
right.
Something so personal and so
personal.
Right.
The fact that here you go.
Self-deprecating.
The fact that he had kind of turned his life around. He was married. His wife was on the stage on the panel. And
which I was shocked at.
Yeah.
Once he was like my queen. I'm like, which one is he talking about? And I'm like, then I put two and two together. I'm like,
yeah,
really?
So it was just for me powerful to hear someone have so much honesty about the situation, but to own up to that. Because what I shared, I don't know if I shared it in conversation with you or if I just shared it with Marcus when we were going home, was that along the way for women in relationships, we could have met, let's just say his name is Tom. We could have met Tom in his predator stage. right? After being the victim of such a horrible childhood. And he affected us, right? Because he took advantage and didn't care and all of that. And then that had an effect on me and my relationship and how I go on. And he's later now different and reformed and better and healed. And you know what I mean? And you may not, or you may be, but it's just we meet different people on the journey in different stages, and we have no clue as to what they may be going through, the baggage that they are actually carrying in their life. So when you really do, I think what's really interesting about the relationship that I have with Marcus is that we, talk about a lot of these things and they seem like real, just like deep, draining conversations. But at the end of the day, how can you really, really know, somebody that you're with unless you can address or go to those areas that are uncomfortable, that are emotional, because otherwise what we're doing is we're just trying to,
we're posturing.
You know what I mean? Yeah. We're trying to save face. We're trying to stay on the surface and keep it nice and comfortable and not,
get too deep.
Just dibbling down.
We don't want to muddy waters.
Exactly. You don't want to turn the tide. You don't want all of that. So because that's how I am. I don't like conflict. I don't want to do anything. Like, let's just
don't want to argue.
But I always realize that without those conversations, without that conflict, without those situations, you can't really grow as an individual to know what your own struggles are, what your own insecurities are, because everybody is pretending like everything is good and we have it all together, and can't nobody say and that has nothing to do with your confidence or your self-esteem. It's just sometimes we are really lying to ourselves. And I told him, I said, I go to work, right? I am the dean. So I put on the mask. Okay, I'm a professional. I got to get it done. I can't go to work and have breakdowns and be crying all over the place, even though that may be what I want to do. But for the sake of, I got to go to work. I got to handle my business. I got to do what I got to do. I'm not a mother, but I can imagine a mother has to take care of the kids. They have to make sure they're strong because the image that they want the children to see, even though they don't want to do anything, they want to have a breakdown. They want to just lay in bed all day, or you know what I mean? So then we get used to, okay, let me put on this mask, let me put it together like, and let me just go. Even though emotionally, internally, I'm dealing with all of these things. And then you get used to it and you become numb. So now when certain things happen, you don't have a reaction to it. It's like, whatever, Yeah.
Instant baggage created. And in turn, that perpetuates stuff. Now, remember a while ago, I used to always say, secrets make people grow closer. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing that the doctor said. Like, we keep secrets from those one that we love. And she's like, that's the stupidest thing that we could ever do. She's like, from family, those you don't like you just shouldn't do it, because at the end of the day, it hurts you more and more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because now you have nobody to tell, and then you end up, as he said, crying out at some point. And then if somebody really do hear you, they really don't hear you, because you make a little notice of it. Somebody say something crazy about it or brush it off a little bit, and and so that was your attempt, and there you go right back to covering up and being secretive. And so the one thing I do know about different cultures, they just do things differently, and they're a lot more open, and they self-soothe a lot more than we do as Black people, because everything is taboo for us. You know what I'm saying? To be a male and to be in touch with your feelings, like, that's just not cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, trying to figure out what a woman wants in this day and age can be really hard if you male, because there's so many different types of, and I understand women can say the same thing, but it's the fluctuation is so vast only because it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, men are really drastic. Like, they're either into something or they're not. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't really play both sides of the fence. Like, you get dudes that are just like, I don't want my girl looking at nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Not another girl, not another thing. Like, and that dude to be pretty cut and dry like that. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times, men view women as wanting it all type of people. Like, we got to give her this, and we got to give her this. Like, she expects me to be hard out here and then sensitive to her. Be rough. You know what I'm saying? But cater. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
All that.
you know what I'm saying? You know, so but to your point, that's just as hard for us as it is for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And women now have to go through it too. You know what I'm saying? Being business moguls and everything. And
Well, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
So I've had a few conversations with some men who've expressed the idea of having to deal with so much just in life in general, with whether it's making money, whether it's pursuing certain career goals or passions, talents, things of that nature. Can you articulate for us two ladies here what that experience is really like of having to carry, not to mention how other people view you as a black man, that I know you don't have that problem because they don't see you as black, right? We had that conversation before, that you don't kind of carry that weight of being a black man in America. But if you could articulate it, of carrying all those things and then coming home and having to be present for a woman in a relationship. Get my question?
Yeah,
okay.
I do. And before I got to the point of where, you know, where I don't care about how them, it can be lonely. You know what I'm saying? It's hard because especially if you don't want to follow the mold. Let's say you got dreams and it's something that you want to pursue. All you know is, you know what, I'm passionate about something, but now I got to get to a point. So I know because I want to get there, I got to struggle because this is what I'm passionate about. What can make that hard is the fact that you may have a woman, you know what I'm saying, not to mention to deal with the outside perception. We always, as a man, we're always going to have to take care of how we're viewed, no matter what. So at the minute, because that could cost us money at any given time. So if we're viewed wrong, if we're viewed weak, if we're viewed incompetent, you know what I'm saying, we're, you know, just not strong, not smart, that could all affect how somebody else does or do not want to deal with us because it happens with word of mouth. So then the fact that if we're not popular, then we have to be smart. And then nowadays we got to be smart and strong. And then, but for a lot of us, these are learned traits. So if you learn these traits from somebody else, so let's just imagine trying to learn how to be strong and didn't have a father. And you learn how to be strong from just your mother. And then you go out into the business world where there's nothing but men. You know what I'm saying? And now where you thought you were strong, you're not strong enough because that's a whole different type of world of vultures that you have to deal with. All while still setting that to the side to be at the drop of a dime, come back and be human. Because now once you come home, you got to be human, but you got to be human in a whole different light. Because if you have a son or a brother or at worst, a girl that you got to deal with, it's not the same because now you got to be a different type of strong. So you can't be that type of strong, but you still got to be strong when you come home. So now as to where I'm hurting, you know what I'm saying, for whatever has happened out in the world, whatever it is I really want to pursue, you know what I'm saying, because I may go do something that I have to do. Now I want to come home and do something that I need to do, but I may not be able to do that because now I got to come home and be strong for somebody else more times than not. You know what I'm saying? So it's expected of us to be able to sit here and take whatever it is our significant other has to dish out. Not to mention, once we do that, now we have to be fiscally responsible for everything. That doesn't compensate for whatever we're weak to, whatever we have compulsions or addictions to or passions. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be accountable for everything. And then you get to a place where you need help, and you oftentimes find out asking yourself, well, who helps the helper? You know what I'm saying? So now you close down. It's like, well, nobody helps the helper, so now I just got to deal with it. And you deal with it the best way you know how. And unfortunately, sometimes it's either more into work, you know what I'm saying, to where you have no other life, or it's too far into women where you divulge too much and you give too much and then you're exposed, or you just don't have a medium period, or you just cold-hearted period, or you displace everything. Where you should be strong, you're weak. Where you should be saving money, you're spending. Where you should be better with compulsion, you have no actual, you can't think of the word, but you know what I'm saying, you can't
self-control.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it can be lonely, you know, and I have with Shani all the time. Like I tell Shani all the time, Shani's a real practical and pragmatic person. So everything has to make sense. But a lot of times he knows he's great enough to start and run revisions, but taking that leap is hard because he doesn't want to backtrack. You know what I'm saying? And ever be caught in that compromising situation. You know what I'm saying? Because Shani told you, like, I felt one way before and I'll never feel that way again. And I understand it. But at some point.
So do you think, because I think maybe you said something pretty profound, just one part of it. No, I'm just kidding. You mentioned that it's a feeling of, with your example with Shani, I felt a way. I knew that in that place, it wasn't a good place. And I didn't want to go back to that place again. So therefore, every action that I take or the things that I do, I'm very conscious of not going back there or ending up there, which to me translates the same as how women would feel if I've been hurt before. Back to, tell me his name again.
Monty.
Back to Monty.
Monty.
How he said that
all the bad
not
pictures.
wanting to cry or be hurt, obviously, because nobody wants to feel hurt. But that whole idea of, if I made a decision in the past that led me to hurt, I'm not going to practically. If I'm thinking sensibly, if I'm thinking rationally, if I'm not thinking emotionally like women do, I'm not going to make that same decision to basically get me back in the same place again, because I know what that place was and I don't want to go back there.
Right. And the funny thing is, the dichotomy in that situation, or the juxtaposition in that situation, is him trying to be strong in turn makes him weak. You know what I'm saying? So there's strength in crying and opening up and healing so you can get it out, right? But it was so painful when you went there the first time, you never go there again. So,
right.
So
it reminds me of like Iyanla when she did the Fix My Life, when she had all the men to come in. I've never seen so many men together, like literally crying, because they were dealing with so much. Men deal with a whole lot of stuff the same way a woman deals with a whole lot of stuff. And the fact that they had never, up until 47, you know what I mean, years old, I think that was the age of the guy from Boys to Men, dealt with stuff that happened 15, 20, 30 years ago, never dealt with it, never healed from it. So it's this idea of healing, right? We're always talking women, healing, and then we have these conferences, and then, women that are loose, and, all this stuff. And it's like, for the men, again, because it's seen as weak, but can you imagine, and this is, I guess, just my thought.
Right, though.
Can you imagine how powerful it would be for a man to be just free and healed of situations and circumstances that he's dealt with, and then now he's like, rah, 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 I'm top of the world. I'm ready to love
that
everybody.
Gives me goosebumps,
and you know what I mean?
Just hearing it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of times the quote unquote ugly chick or whoever she is, and I think Shani spoke to you about this earlier, long shows ago, that's why she usually wins. That hood or not, the chick that doesn't look like,
because she has nothing to lose.
Well, it's not so much about that. It's that she usually,
I mean, not like that, but I'm just saying, like, she already know what her situation is.
Well, usually those women that aren't chased after like that, sought after, they become better people. And so when they deal with us as men, they get to the little things that matter to us, as opposed,
which makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
sense.
And it's the little things that provide glue for us. I'm like, oh man, my back is hurting. You know what I'm saying? I have a long day at work. And then you come home and it's a back brace sitting there. You like, that's love. Like, Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it'll be stuff like that that'll just tie you to somebody for a long time. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to some other women, who are just, you constantly have to do for them. And then even when they do for you, they do it back in the way that you're loving them and not in the way that you needed to be loved. But something as simple as, another stress that men have to go through is just trying to make it home going out and making it home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have my car anymore. So when I left to go get in the train to go from work, like, I had to deal with some idiots, you know what I'm saying? Because I knew them when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? They're older, but they're still into what they were doing. It's like, what are the odds that I run into these cats? You know what I'm saying? But the police happen to be in the neighborhood, and so you get a pass today. And I was just wondering, like, dang, like, what if the police hadn't came, like, do I get shot again? Like, how does that work? You know what I'm saying? It's like, Jesus, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of men have to deal with that, just period. Just going out into the world, having to be careful about where they are, not knowing, whether they're going to come home or they're going to be an innocent bystander, or if they just at a club and out with the wrong person, or because they want to wear a certain hat, they can't because they're in the wrong. It just gets weird. But so there's a lot of baggage that could come with any man on any general day, because it's just not okay. And I think a lot of times men are envious of women because there's so much. If men aren't catering to them so much, then women find a way to cater to themselves as well. You know what I'm saying? And then once you guys get that big reprieve, you know what I'm saying? We got to look, and it's just like, well, we still wound up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't. You know what I'm saying? The only real reprieve that a woman gives to us is sex. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how she sees it. Like, well, let's get this nut off and you should be good, and we going about our day. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, that helps everybody in life when you get that. But, you know what I'm saying, you still got the other part of that where, you know what I'm saying, I still need this conversation.
So then where is that outlet for a man? Where does he get it? If he's not going to go to, let's say, like for men who go to church, you know what I mean, who actually get that release at church, potentially outside of the sexual part of what you're talking about, like kind of like that outlet, because they're able to pray, or they're able to worship, or they're able to whatever. For those who don't get that, or the ones who are just too, I'm not about to be doing all that. Where do they get that release or that freedom? You know what I mean?
Most men get it through whatever their true passions are. It's the one place where they can go and release. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know,
music for musicians,
whatever it is,
being able to rock out or
paint, artists, whatever it is, that if they're able to genuinely do what they love to do, that's where they usually get that, because they can be lost and they can be as expressive as they want. And that's where really true art comes from, no matter what it is we're doing. Whether you're doing radio or whatever it is that you love, that's how you get so great at it, because you get to honestly just release to it. I told Monty today he needs to really just pick up this camera and just don't do nothing else. Because when you go to Monty Images on Instagram, like, he has really great work. You know what I'm saying?
At Monty Images.
At Monty Images. He has really great work. You know what I'm saying?
He's like, all right, I'm done.
And I don't know if you watch Blackish, you know what I'm saying? But
I do.
So remember,
are you on Blackish?
No, but
I do. We're fans.
But remember the episode maybe 2 episodes ago where she went to college, went on her college tour.
Yes.
And at the end of the show, she was talking about passion when they were trying to keep the black dorms alive, because she accidentally cut it off. And her uncle was telling her, he's like, yeah, passion is the way to get anything. So, you know what I'm saying? And that's how we can get anything done, and that's where we get our release, is through our passions. But aside from that, it's not really, until you find your wife or that woman, that significant other, that you can let all that go. You know what I'm saying? You wonder why men get when they're so babies when they're 6. That's the one time that they can let go. Like, it's obvious. Like, I don't have to be. I don't have to be strong. Like, I'm sick. I'm at my weakest state, so I can just baby this all up. You know what I'm saying?
Look at that face.
I'm appalled.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what it is. All these years I've been trying to figure out the piece of that puzzle. Why are y'all such babies when y'all are sick?
You know what I'm saying? But not to mention though, like,
it's just life.
But being anybody know being sick on the inside of your body, like, it just sucks. You know what I'm saying? Nowhere to get away.
But y'all are terrible when y'all sick.
Yeah, man, because, if we fall off a horse, we can deal with that. You know what I'm saying? We can deal with that. But,
But being sick.
Fix it now. You know what I'm saying? You can't do a push-up for it. Ain't nothing you can do, And if you ain't knocking me out with some pill, like, you need to come fix it. Hold me. Hold me, damn it. You know what I'm saying? But it's we about to take a quick commercial break. There's a lot of folks I don't ever want to see again because of their baggage. And this is Uncle Sam. I don't ever want to see you again. POTUS. Keep us up. Yeet.
All right. So basically, Detroit was having a moment during the break. So if you were watching on Facebook Live, you saw it because he explained why he never wanted to see her again. But
we good friends now, though. So.
But we want to talk about her because
we good friends, though.
Are you healed from
I'm
that?
healed.
Okay.
I'm one of her confidants.
That's his thing. Is to become friends with a person.
Hey, this life is made of people, man. So like once you, the more bridges you don't have to burn, you good. You know what I'm saying? And if you could heal, you know what I'm saying, we good. So to me, like
Positivity.
I said, 99% of relationships fail to me. You know what I'm saying? So if I can still be friends with you, it's success in there. You know what I'm saying? If I do it vanity with no friendship.
And why is there success? Because people stick in it and work it out. But some things people feel like they go beyond repair. Mm-hmm. But it really then comes back to that idea of forgiveness and personal healing. And if a person can't face healing of the situation, then they should remove themselves because they're only going to create more havoc and separation within that relationship. Ultimately.
So you genuinely feel like you guys can be friends with your exes after you guys break up or after that doesn't work? Do you guys believe in that?
See, you going into
I was just having this conversation.
You going into the next episode, but
no,
yeah.
But you brought it up, and I was literally just having this conversation right before the show.
You know we could be friends with exes.
You good. Let's not.
So the thing about it is,
sack somebody else.
I believe that you can, but is it necessary? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think. And so the jokes I was making with Detroit is because I feel like he really genuinely is like, no, we need to be friends. Like, we need to be buddies.
No, we're not breaking up, we're friends.
But I think that you can end a relationship on a note that is positive, you know what I mean, and move past it, and whether it's years later or whatever, be able to be cordial with one another. But as far as going, to be like friends and all of that, some people do it, and I'm not knocking it, but just personally, for the sake of the current relationship or situation, I have a new friend. You know what I mean?
But see, that's not friends. You get what I'm saying? Like when I say friends, I'm talking genuine friends.
Wait, but one of my friends told me that her husband is actually one of his really close friends, best friends, is one of his ex-girlfriends, and she's okay with that.
As she
I don't
should,
know how.
As she should be.
But
as she should be. But here's my thing when it comes to being quote unquote friends with exes. The reason why I want to be friends is because this life is made of people. I may need you for something that you can help me with. You know what I'm saying? And I need to be able to come to you and ask you that. Like, if you go with graphic design and I used to date you, but I got a website coming up and we broke it off, before whatever. If I ended that on bad terms trying to come to you and we never meant that trying to come back to you and ask you to do business with you, it might not fly well. You know what I'm saying? But if we good, I can always come back and say, hey, you know what? I need this. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Akilah, I need to know where a book can be published. Can you point me in the right direction? Yeah. Or can you do it with me? But just because I say we still friends or don't mean that it's on a level. Because when you said I got a new friend.
Like you want to take what she said.
She was like, I got a new friend. I'm like, well, that ain't the same type of friend. That's not just friends. You know what I'm saying? That's still friends with them type of benefits, with them type of emotions. And that's not always where I'm coming from. But even to the point of what you said, like, a lot of times, we was at the basketball game the other day, and my girlfriend, she was like, it's a lot of fine people here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking to, I know the ref. You know what I'm saying? She ref my games. We used to skate together or whatever. And she was like, why do you know these people? I said, it usually happens in passing. She was like, did you like any of these people? It's me. I liked some of these people, or I've talked to some of these people. But
or all of them.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But that has nothing to do with where we are today, because if it did, I wouldn't be with you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And it means nothing.
It's a funny story, real quick, because at the basketball game, Detroit came with his girlfriend, right? But I'm standing next to Detroit. After I come back, he's literally just sitting there talking to me. His girlfriend's next to him, and he's telling me how fine all these other girls are. And I'm sitting there like, that's not your girlfriend. Like, I'm thinking in my head, like, that's not are we whispering here? Is she not supposed to be hearing? Like, what is going on here? Because he's just, she fine, and we need her at the station because she fine. I'm like, Detroit, that's not your, all right. Like, he's just so, it don't matter. She heard me. She know. I'm like, whoa, like, this is, I was so, like, I was nervous for you in my head, but I was trying to play it cool because you were playing it cool, and I was like, okay, maybe we're good here. Maybe she,
What you about to say,
knows.
Monty?
I think that's pretty good that the fact that she's very open about that and she's very cool with it. Because I think a lot of women, like, kind of like trying to control their man and don't let him look at other women. Come on, man. We are men.
Right.
We gotta look. Come on now. It wouldn't be right if we didn't look.
Yeah,
So
you would think differently of us.
Yeah.
So you don't like that? You know what I'm saying?
I guess
But
we'll give you
what
that
did she
point.
say? What?
You gonna look?
But she talks to me the exact same way.
and I don't know that, though.
And nobody
So
ever.
that's why I was
Monty,
like,
what did she tell you
whoa.
when we was watching TV the other day? She was like, "You believe that lady guy with his fine ass?" Like I said, it's like, is this fine? She talks to me exact same way. I'm like,
But that person is almost
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they don't
celebrity on
exist.
TV.
They're
Okay,
like
but she don't.
fairy tale.
No,
That's what I'm trying to say.
but she talks to me like that with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't matter. Like I'm not doing it in secret. You know what I'm saying? But I would never be with anybody that I couldn't because I think it's important to be
But
whoever you are.
I think that's the main thing. You get what I'm saying? That is at the end of the day the main thing. You all, the two of you and your girlfriend, have established a foundation where she is comfortable. You know what I mean? She's not
insecure
uncomfortable.
about
She's
it.
not insecure. She
Yeah.
doesn't feel intimidated. Well, I don't know what
I don't
she
think
feels.
No woman or no man should ever feel intimidated in any type of way.
They shouldn't. But what's the reality? The reality is that they do. And even if you are secure, there can be moments, there can be times of when you get to that point of feeling insecure. Like, well, wait a minute. And
that's when the conversation used to be had.
And that's when the conversation.
Hey, you know, I was wondering about
honesty needs to
and
be
it's just
had
it's reassurance
versus being like, nah, I'm cool. It don't matter. Like it is what it is. It's good, and it's not good.
Let me tell you the strangest thing she's ever done. Strangest thing. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if I'm ready.
No, it's not. Well, she's actually done stranger, but whatever. So
this is not the strangest.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
But one of the strangest things. So
Okay.
She comes home with this fit, you know what I'm saying, shirt and whatever, and I'm like, oh dang, like I just didn't see you, like you've never seen me. I had a shirt like that, but I'm like, she's never seen me in that shirt like that because those clothes are still out in Riverside, and I'm like, well, where'd you get this idea? She was like, well, I saw this on this dude, and I was just like, damn, you know what I'm saying? So let me go get my baby one of these shirts, you know what I'm saying? And then so she's looking at me, and I'm like, I'm in my head, I'm like,
Is she thinking about me?
yeah, I'm like, I don't know who she's thinking about here. You know what I'm saying? But she's also done that coming home from a club. Told me a whole story about some dude, and I'm like, is this even about me? Like at this point? You know what I'm saying? Mind you, she's talking to me, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, we'll just roll with it, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't tripping, you know what I'm saying? Because it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? Now, usually, because like I told you on the show before, you go out to the club, you see your eye candy, and you go home and use that as fuel to do what you do to your man. You know what I'm saying? Or your female. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's what it's supposed to be like. You know what I'm saying? If I'm out with the homies and there's a whole bunch of bad bitches out there, you know what I'm saying? And you know, you get your testosterone high, you go home
Please
and
excuse him.
and you
It can be some
You know what I'm
fine
saying?
ladies.
you do all the nasty things in the world to your woman based on what you saw out there in the world. You know what I'm saying? That's how it's supposed to go. Now, usually I cut that faucet off when I walk through the door. You know what I'm saying? Like, I may have it fueled once I go through the door, and I may be doing this because of what I saw, but she brought the conversation all the way back. You know what I'm saying? But it was cool. You know what I'm saying? And it's something you know
It was cool.
what I'm saying?
So did you wear the shirt?
Yeah, I wore the shirt. I look good in it, damn it.
You still don't know whether you was him or you, huh?
It's not important. It's not important. You know what I'm saying?
And the fact is, they had a good time.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
All that matters.
You got it.
All that matters. At
All
the end
for
of the
it.
day,
I'm here for all of it.
I mean, that's
dark
that's
zone.
that's
I'm
the
here
truth.
for all of it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's all that matters, but it's the fact of the matter of having the conversation in general.
Yeah, and it happens. You know what I'm saying? Because there's been plenty of ways where I know she felt the way about something, but she wouldn't say it because we hadn't had that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Or she's tried to put it off, and I'm like, no, it's okay. we're cool. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like even just the other day I had to like she finally genuinely got really, really mad and really, really let it out. And I think she felt bad about it. And I'm like, no, it's okay, because I know if I look in your eyes, like I'm reading you. You know, you can, most people, we as people, if you dealing with your husband, you know him better than he know himself. You know what I'm saying? So you know when he trying to hide something or he ain't saying something that he ain't supposed to be saying. You know what I'm saying? And he could tell you what all he wants to, get all the silly banter, but you sitting there like, I know. I'm waiting for a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then a few years later that he really going off about it, and you like, I knew, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. Mm-hmm. And it was just one of those things I'm like, I'm okay with that, because as long as I know you giving me the truth, I'm fine. You know, at the minute, you know, a lot of times I think we give the company line, you know what I'm saying? We say what, you know what, I either want to control the thought of what's coming out, or I don't want to be too harsh, you know what I'm saying? And I think that hurts more than it helps sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Especially if the other person is cognitive of knowing that something's deeper digging with you. You know what I'm saying? So since you know something's really bothering them, like, now you mad. Like, come on, get to the bottom of it. Like, I want to know it. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the end of the day, it's all about communication. And to me, that's what getting over baggage is about. You know what I'm saying? Talking, confessing. You know what I'm saying? Once you speak something and put it there and let it go, like, it's easier to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, like, I feel like, you know, I told her today, I told her 2-3 weeks ago, like, I made a joke. I found this new club downtown. Tons of black people. Crazy. You know
I'm mad you look that shocked.
What?
About the tons of
What
black
is it
people.
called? Where is it located?
It's called the Association.
Okay.
And it's off. It's between.
Is it free?
It's free. It's free for women and it's free for men. But if a man doesn't go with a woman, he's gonna be standing in line unless he pays $20. I was just telling him about that. You know what I'm saying?
So a man has to go with a woman in order to get in free.
To get in right away. Other than that, he might stand in line for.
So
Okay.
it's not free
and what
all
time?
night.
Free
No, it's free. It's
free is right up my alley.
It's free
What
all the
time
time.
does it start?
9, I guess. 9 to 2.
9 to 2
typical club
downtown.
hours.
The association. Okay.
Association.
What day of the week?
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay, perfect.
Thursday night. But it's just a bunch of people. You'll see people in suits. You'll see people with dreads. You'll see people it's just tons and
You'll
tons
see
of black.
people with suits and dreads.
I haven't seen that
cannot
conversation
with
yet.
her.
I haven't seen that combination
Cannot.
yet. You know what I'm saying? But it's real cool. Nice little lounge. I'm like, I can dig it. You know what I'm saying? And I was trying to take her there, and I'm like, dang, like, it's a whole.
So how
lot of
many
people.
times have you gone?
3.
And you've gone 3 times without her.
Because she can't go. She works.
So you
How
stood in that line?
convenient.
So you had to stand in that line, or you found another lady friend?
Oh, no, I'm good with the promoters. No, I'm good.
How convenient. 3
So
times.
go with Detroit is what he's saying. He has promoter friends. You're good, right?
And what do you do at the association 3 times without your girlfriend?
I go party, chill.
What does partying consist of?
Give me a drink and enjoy looking at all scattered ass. That's what and mingle, you know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
wow. There's Monty, guys.
That's
On
the
me.
mingle part. What does mingling consist
Just
of?
how do you mingle?
I don't mingle.
Yeah. How did you mingle?
How did I mingle when?
When you
I
were
was
single? How did you mingle when
Okay,
you were
Now she's
single?
been married all her life. Done forgot how she talked and flirted.
I read your word. When I was single, I mingled. You're not single. Well,
He's asking, how did
So
you
no,
wait.
mingle?
but let's be clear.
You can't
He said, shush.
You can't.
Let's be clear. He said, how did I
else.
mingle when I'm single? As if how I mingled when I was single is how he mingles at the association.
So you can't mingle with your girlfriend?
So I'm just saying.
You can't go out and mingle with your girlfriends at a club?
That's not
Part
what
of
she
this.
meant.
That is what I meant.
I'm asking how you are a man. You don't mingle how women mingle.
I know y'all worse. We go out and chill and just look. Y'all touch and do everything else, grind, yo.
No. That might
Really?
be backwards.
Really?
Nah, man. That's why, like, I'm real
I'm
skeptical.
sorry, I don't go out and just no.
Please.
Like,
Y'all,
the
see,
other
y'all
way
don't be
around.
seeing how. See, y'all be trying to play it coy, but men
Don't
see
play it.
how.
But no. But see, the
We
reason why
looking
I asked,
like we're going
no.
to.
In all honesty, if I'm
Looking.
no. If I'm going out, you know what I'm saying, to the association to mingle, right? I'm about to mingle. That's why it blows my mind.
But what does
and
mingle?
that's why
What's
I
your
wanna know,
what's your definition of
because
mingle?
what you're talking about is I'm gonna go and dance. I am going to put my behind on somebody and twerk. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm going to do. If I were single, that's what I would do. So my question to you as somebody in a relationship, because I know what happens when people go out.
So you don't believe in mingling and being in a relationship? You don't believe in going out in a relationship?
No.
What you're saying?
What I'm saying is, you can't tell me you're not mingling when you go out. You get what I'm saying? You can't tell me you just
I wish
chilling.
my girl would go to a club and not dance with all that ass. Like, what are you here for? You dance by yourself.
That's my point. Did you miss it? Because that was my point.
Oh, but you're making it sound like it's a bad thing.
No, my point is you're making it seem like you just going and you just gonna take my little drink and I'm gonna go. No, and I'm just gonna.
That is what happens the majority of the time.
Beautiful. All the ladies in here. Beautiful.
First off, I'm
and
almost.
now, wait. I'm turned now, so let me go home so I can give it to my lady.
First off, Craig. All right.
It's about that time. That's her bedtime.
You painting all these nefarious pictures that ain't got nothing. That don't even be going on like that. Now, possibly can they go on like that if it's like that? But
the ass is scattered enough.
I danced with myself before. I did. No, but I mean, at this day and age, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if he's the same, but you enjoy watching it more than you actually do.
Monty, are you in a
going
relationship? No. Monty can mingle all he wants to.
All he wants to.
And I mingle all I want to. You know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Pause. That's what you don't do.
That's why I asked for clarification, because I wanted to know what your mingling consists of. Because
it don't consist of cheating.
Okay.
But so then your mingling ain't Monty's mingling.
They could be, he probably mingled a little deeper than what I mingle.
Okay, then.
I'm on the shallow end of it, you know what I'm saying?
Y'all killing me.
You killing yourself. You over here cutting up.
See, God don't like ugly. See what I'm saying? You over here acting up.
I know. I need some water or something. So.
Nah, but it's man, when it comes to baggage, be careful, because she'll put a lot of baggage on you, feel that you ain't even made up. She's trying to give me baggage behind mingling. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm not. I'm just asking for clarification because.
But you knew you out here making up stories.
I didn't make up the story. Did he not?
You painted a whole picture that I didn't even go there with. I told you it's possible that's something I could do if I wanted to do it. I told you what I do. I go there, I chill, I get a drink, I watch the scattered ass. You know what I'm saying?
Is that not what I did and I said?
Nah, but you said put your ass all up against, you know what?
No. I didn't say you did that.
Run the tape. Rerun the tape.
I said that's what I would do. You know what I'm saying? If I were single and I was mingling. That's why I wanted to know because you connected my mingling when I was single to how you mingle in a relationship.
So
no, I just asked you. I asked you.
That's why I wanted
she was twerking when she was single. So she just wanted to make sure that that's what you was getting while you. All right.
Whatever.
I was just trying to clarify.
Because I am under the impression that it's hard for me to believe that you're just in the corner chilling, sipping on a drink.
Two-stepping. Right?
At most.
You know what I mean?
At most. You know what I'm saying? You know I'm a we some steppers, you know what I'm saying?
I see you.
Try to get it in, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know. That just wouldn't sit well with me.
Well, I mean, you're a lot more controlling than when I am, so it's not. I can't. You know
but I get it because, you know, I mean, you go out to dance and I know that's what it's for. But that's my mindset is like, that's what you're going for. What other reason would you go for?
No, you're right. But
you're not going to go look at dudes.
And see,
you know what I'm saying? You're not going to go two-step with the men.
Right.
You're going because there is a plethora of eye candy or scattered asses, is what he said.
It's
available.
Yes, and it's a good time. I live in downtown LA. You know what I'm saying? So
that's all
you want to know what the scene is like. And then at the end of the day, going out at night, she works overnight. So it's either never go out or wait for her to be off. And, you know, anybody know that life, you know, they about that sleep. So, you know what I'm saying? So,
I might take sleep, actually.
No, I'm saying, majority do. You know what I'm saying? So, if I ain't got nothing to do on a Thursday, I go get my issue. You know what I'm saying?
Please don't call it your issue.
I'm dying.
Can you please?
Well, she got enough water.
She got some water over here.
She just
it ain't holy enough. That's the problem. You got over here acting up.
Don't let her do that.
You ain't never offered me no water when I was choking.
So
If you can go, you can go. But anyway,
Akilah
man.
is not. She's special.
I
You just
see.
Detroit. Okay, don't get it twisted.
Sugarfoot, give us your last comments and words going on back, talking about baggage before we get up out of here.
Well, actually, I'm gonna give my last comment to at Nat Chantel. She commented on our post, and she basically said it had to do with insecurity and lack of love within yourself. If you can't understand how to, as she said, fuck with yourself heavy, flaws and all, you have no solid foundation.
Whoop.
And I'll leave it at that.
Whoop. Can we say no better?
Miss Akilah Trinay, give it to us without choking, please. Hey, there it is.
Only will. Look, man. When it comes to baggage, like it's just as she said, you gotta live with yourself. And I've always said, flaws make you perfectly imperfect. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm sorry, being imperfect is perfect. You know what I'm saying? So that's accepting your flaws and all. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times we carry baggage because we're too busy putting on. And I always tell people that perception is not reality, but because of this world, we have to live in that. And a lot of people, we try to live in that. And to me, that's where baggage comes from at its core, trying to live in a world of perception that has nothing to do with our reality. I tell people all the time, my grandma was the biggest and most devout Christian. Like she wanted me to be a pastor and a lot. But if I tried to live to that perception, that would not be my reality. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much I was raised in church, that's not my life. That's not how I get down. And a lot of us try to appease too many people. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a girlfriend, whether it's a parent, or whether it's society where we don't want to be who we need to be, who we want to be, and who would allow us to grow. Because at the end of the day, you got to live with yourself, and happiness is just about you. So happiness should come first, and that it comes with dealing with your flaws and all. But it's been great, talking about baggage, and maybe next week we'll talk about friends with exes and everything else that Destiny.
Next week we have a mashup show. It's going to be awesome. We have Keith from Good News Radio. He's going to come in. So it's U Nation Radio Love Sessions mashup with Good News Radio. It's a millennium show, so we're probably going to talk about a number of different things, and it's going to be awesome.
So you're saying we'll have some good news for a change? So from Sugarfoot, from Akilah Trinay, from Poetess, and the homie Monty, and we just thank you for gracing our presence. Hope you'll come back.
Yes.
I am Dontrell Detroit. Yeet! We out of here.
What is